Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Laravel tutorial from Code for Free channel. In the previous video, I have made another tutorial about how to use layout sharing and the word. If you haven't watched my previous video yet, you can watch it now by go to the description. I will put the link down there. So for today's lesson, I'm going to talk about component in Laravel. So what is the component? Component is a reusable element that you can share among the other pages. Moreover, to make your component more dynamic, you can pass the variable from the outside into your component. So without any delay, let's go into the practice. Now, in this example, I already have my project created since my previous video, and I have designed the now bar and also putting some content into it. So to check out what it look like, let's run the project by enter command php artisan serve. Okay, now you can see the project is running at localhost port 8000. I'm going to open it in my Safari. So here it is. We have already added 3 pages to our project: home, blogs, and about us. Now I'm going to move this layout into the component. So let's see how I can make it. First, if you want to create the Laravel component, you can use the command php artisan make component. Now I'm going to open the new terminal by clicking the plus sign here. So now the new terminal has opened. Let's go ahead and create our new component by enter the command php artisan make component. And then enter your component name. So I'm going to call my component layout. Okay, you can see the component created successfully. Now after you have entered this command, it will generate 2 files based on the component name. One is layout.php and another one is layout.blade.php. For the layout.php, it is located in the app folder, then view and component. So in here, it's return the view that inside the component and layout. So you can find it in the resources, the view and component and the layout. So here it is. And nothing here, it's only display the div and the message, I mean the comment. So you can go ahead and delete it. And next I'm going to test it out first by putting some message to try it. So I'm going to call the common message as hello world. Okay, let's save this, and then you can call your layout component. Then you can call the component like this: x and dash layout, your component name, and close it. So now let's see what happened. Let's go back into the browser and then refresh the page. Now you can see the hello world message is rendered. So next I'm going to copy our layout from the previous layout that we use the keyword extend here to extend the layout to every page and remove it, then use the component instead. Okay, just go ahead and copy it and pass it into your layout component. Then I'm going to delete the content first, and let's test out with the some variable that going to pass from the other page to our component. Like here, I'm going to try with the title, so I'm going to expect there is one variable that we will pass as the attribute to our component is the title. Okay, now let's refresh the page. So as you can see here, there is an error in our component because it cannot find the variable title. So we can fix this by going to our app view component and go to the layout.php and let our component can accept the variable title from this constructor. So let it find uh, a title variable. Okay, title. Then assign it to our class variable. So I'm going to call it the same title because this is important. When you define a name here, like you define a variable here title, so in your view can access, I mean in the view component can access this variable title. So if you didn't define it here, in our component cannot access this title. And if we want to test it out, I can change this title to other thing like test, and then I'm going to assign the test to the title to equal the title. Okay. Next, there's still an error because we cannot resolve the in here there is an error because we didn't pass the title to our uh, layout component. Now let's go ahead and pass the title. I'm going to call it home. Refresh the page. So there's still one error because we didn't define the title. We defined the text instead. So to fix this, you can go ahead and change your title to test variable. Then refresh it again. Alright, it worked. Now you can see there are two navbar here because we have the component inside our home page, which is going to render the same thing like our layout design. So I'm going to comment it all and put only one layout, then refresh it back. Okay, so now there are only one layout. And go back to our layout.php. I would recommend you to use the same name as your attribute that you're going to use with our component in order to prevent the confusing in the future. So let's go ahead and change it back to title. And then don't forget inside your layout.php, you must change it to. And next, Since we have only navware, so we want to have the content of our home page back. Then I'm going to show you the other thing about the slot. So let's go back to our component, and then we can use slot right here, just like we declare the yield content. So I'm going to put its slot right here. Okay, and then in the home.plate.php, we can use like this to add our content to our component. Okay, just pass back our content. And our services. Okay, going to delete this since we don't need it anymore. Okay, delete it and refresh. Now you can see our home page is replaced by the component. So next, if you want to add more slot to the component, you can also do that. If you have another div and you want to add the content into it, so you can also do that by enter the name of what you're going to pass from your component. So I'm going to call it something like footer, and then go back to our home page. You can define another slot by calling a slot, and then your closing tag, and give it a name. Okay, name footer, and you can pass whatever you like into it. For example, I'm going to call a1 and say this is footer, and then let's go ahead and refresh the page. So it's render like what we expected. Now this is it about how we can use component in Laravel. Thank you for your watching. If you have any question, please let me know by comment down below. And if you like the video, please smash the like button.